Alright, welcome back. Have not done a lot recently, as evidenced by the time lapse between updates. Just too nice outside. Alright, so anyway, decided to do something, because I have worked a couple evenings in the pond area, adding some foliage. Figured I'd just kind of show that. Not done yet. Typical. But I wanted to get something up so you know we're still around and still doing okay. What I've done is I come in here and basically added some of the shrubbery and some, you can see I tried some sea roses, aka water lilies, there at the end, and then using a lot of the filigrane busha and some hecky foliage, some JTT trees. So I'm not sure they match, but I put them in there anyway just for now, and quite a bit of some silfloor horsetail foliage in there as generic kind of weeds along the hillside, and some other woodland scenics fine leaf foliage, mostly dead stuff underneath the, figure that underneath the bridge, and the bridge kind of run, will run here, like this stuff wouldn't be probably, I don't know, too alive. That makes any sense. It's there, it's kind of browned up on that side. As you get outside of that, a little bit of green. And we'll have to see how it looks when we get the bridge back in. And then I've always liked weeping willows, so I had a JTT. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or scratch build a tree for that. That's a weeping willow tree there by the water. I don't know if I get down, if you can see, there's some cattails in there. Those are MP scenery cattails. And some other branches hanging over into the water. And then some other stuff, more dense foliage and weeds and stuff along the backside, and then some more cattails along there. Some there. And then a couple, and one more. Nope. This is hard to do with one hand, eh? And then back in that area there, you can see the. I don't know the color. I don't know if the color looks right, but those are the water lilies, and then some more dense bushes, foliage, and I actually back in there, you really can't tell, I added some rocks and a couple more fallen tree or branches and logs and whatnot. And along this side, again, this is some of the MP scenery bushes that unfortunately I'm running out of, but no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Those are the Polack ones. The Polack ones. I really like them. I might have to go back to the contact I have over, unfortunately, over in Germany and buy some more. It's not a cheap date. But I'll try to get some elevation here. You can kind of see overall from above how it's starting to look. I might come back in and some of the rocks. I did try to put some matte varnish on them. It didn't really kill the sheen from where the magic water seeped up on the rocks, but I think it looks okay. And I still want to come back in and maybe have a little bit of water running out of here, and probably use some of the either MIG or Vallejo pigments and damp earth effects up in the culvert area itself. It's not going to be like running water, but maybe showing some water there. And then I also might do the same thing on that culvert, and then maybe even put some small ripples, just a little bit of more running water, because I kind of have some more water up there in that drainage ditch running. Bring it out just to show a little bit of I gotta think about how I would want to do it, but just to show some moving water just coming out of that one outflow over there. And back there is a lot of the filigrane busha. There's hecky foliage. There's some of the woodland scenics fine leaf foliage. These over here. Just trying to get a little bit of a variety and try to hold it all together. Still need quite a bit of work there in the back. But what I was really trying to get to was, let me see if I can zoom back. To just get the area in around here, where if the bridge is, I don't want to risk reaching underneath the bridge or behind the bridge and trying to do stuff. So I want to get all of this area really to the point where I'm saying almost done. And then, because I can still work back here without hitting the bridge, and I can work along there just fine. You can kind of see where where the bridge is going to run. And I do want to get that done, so I can get the bridge in, get the track ballasted, get it all tied together, and then start working on, as I have time, because I can easily work out here without having to worry about the bridge, hitting the bridge or anything like that. But I did not want to risk this area with the bridge being in, because knowing my luck, I'd be reaching underneath and I would boof, and there it goes, and there goes the all the work on the bridge as I go Godzilla on it. So alright, so that's pretty much all I did. It's fun though. This is about 2 evenings worth of work. Enjoyable. Just coming down, just kind of playing around, and I kind of see if the details show up. Again, I don't know how well. I don't have the best lighting, but again, I'm trying to make it look, dense foliage along the water there. I'm going to have some branches growing out and even into the water. And that's why for this is a JTT Weeping Willow. Looks okay, but one of the books I'm looking at has how he built a wire armature one. It's really cool. So I made that a little bit bigger and actually had some of the branches dipping down into the water. That might look pretty neat. But overall, I'm satisfied, happy so far with how it's going. I don't know how well it'll all show up, if it's going to be nice and sharp. But I think it's starting to blend together pretty nice. And I'm trying to get a nice dense foliage, and like I said, all the different shrubbery and weeds and bushes and scruff on that embankment of the hill back there. And that's my first use in there. And you can see some of, so I can point it out if I can even find it. Basically in here and in here there's 2 patches of rubberized horsetail foliage. Used a lot in upholstery work, but some of the some of the books I've been reading by guys in the UK, is where I found it, and I found some and tried it, and it gives you a nice kind of a brambly, gnarly look, which is what you're going for, because anytime you walk outside and go out into the real world, man, it's a lot messier and gnarlier than my past layout was. It looked way too Disneyland on my last layout, which is fine. That's what you're going for. I'm trying to make it look a lot more realistic, like the real world is, as much as I can. I'm realizing I can't get there all the way, that you just can't model everything. It just kind of, my head explodes when I go out taking walks in the evening, taking pictures of it. I was like, how in the world am I going to model all that? I think you just got to realize you can't. You just do the best you can, and don't agonize too much, because the real fun I want to do is get back to running some darn trains. Alright, so hopefully that kind of gave you an idea what we did there. Showed some of the details and how things are starting to look with the different foliage. And again, the intent is vertical. Make it vertical. No clump foliage. No just ground foam sprinkled down. Go vertical. That's the way the real world is. That's what I'm trying to emulate here. Alright, did a couple other things. Let me do a pause here. Go over into the workshop, and I'll kind of show you a couple of things I've been noodling around with. And because that's really about all I did so far. So didn't do a whole lot. Just been busy doing other stuff and out in the yard and getting the pool ready, and summer, and I just literally cannot sit downstairs or be inside when it's really nice outside. So, but did get this done. So alright, enough rambling. Let's go take a look in the workshop and see what other adventures I'm getting myself into. Alright, here are the 2 books that I mentioned. I got both of these on Amazon, and not bad. They're from an author in the UK. There's a volume 1 and volume 2. I think about $25 each, 24 or something like that. I don't know. I had a gift card and I got it at Amazon. Volume 1 is Cuttings, Hills, Mountains, Streams, and Lakes. Pretty good. Although really, there's not a whole lot of, at least for me, new stuff. Not a bad read, and good reference, and it's always interesting to see other folks' techniques, but not really a whole lot in the volume 1 if you're a little bit more experienced in scenery. Now volume 2, however, I did find some interesting stuff. This is a pretty good book. And again, it's from the UK, and what I'm going to actually show right after this, there's the table of contents. He talks about short grass, long grass, fields, hedges, mixed hedges, and then making trees, which is pretty interesting, how he makes trees. I think it's the way I'm probably going to wind up, or something similar to that, to making trees. And like I said, I'm going to cover this a little bit, but I think it's worth it. The short grass effects, interesting, kind of with mats, nothing really bizarre. But then the one thing that he does for longer grass effects is use teddy bear fur. And when I read that, I was like, what? But it actually is teddy bear fur. I had to Google it because I thought it was some esoteric UK term. But no, it really is teddy bear fur, and you can actually buy teddy bear fur, and I actually bought some, and I'll show you the samples. I'm not done yet, but I did try some stuff. And he takes you through kind of how he works with the shorter and the longer effects, how he colors it. With just simple acrylics, and you have to kind of comb it and brush it, and it looks kind of bizarre, but I don't know. I think what he did looks good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to duplicate it, but and then some of the layouts in this book are really nice. And there they are doing some more of the longer effects, and they talk a lot about using different stuff for making hedgerows, which are a little more common in the UK than they are here in the States. But and they use a lot of rubberized horsehair, which actually I do have some right down there. Actually, you could buy that too. And then, like I said, I really did like his section here on making trees. They're wire trees, and he does a nice job walking through how he does it. I'm not going to show it in all kinds of detail because this might not be interesting to everybody, but really nice trees. Now, obviously a lot of work, but the more and more I try trees from different suppliers and whatnot, so they're good. Don't get me wrong, they're nice trees, but it's just not what I'm after. They look like ground foam sprinkled on trees, and I'd like to do something a little bit different, a little more realistic. And he's got a lot of different techniques in here, so I won't bore everyone with the details. But if I was going to pick one of these two books, I definitely would pick Volume 2, and it's Modeling Railway Scenery. Railway, so you can tell it's from the UK. And there's obviously a UK prototype, and it's by Mr. Pardon my glare, Anthony Reeves. Both volumes are good. I mean, I recommend it, but if you're going to buy one of them, I recommend you buy this one. And this was on Amazon, but if you want both of them, they're good. Good books. All right, so let me pause here and then kind of show you what I actually tried with the with the teddy bear fur. Now, this technique is totally new to me. I'm not saying I've mastered it yet. I did try coloring it, and it took a little bit, and the first time I did it, since I'm using probably different paints that are available in the UK, it didn't do much of anything. I think the paint was way too thin, and all I had was freaking wet teddy bear fur. But I changed the consistency of the paint and followed the instructions, and you kind of dab it on there, then mix it around, and then you brush it and comb it, and just with normal combs, and this is kind of what you get. Now, what I have here, because I didn't know what to buy, I had never purchased teddy bear fur before in my life, so I found a place online, and you gotta love Google, and there's places that actually do sell teddy bear fur. And here's what I bought. It comes in big, I guess, I don't know what you call it, a bolt or a, I don't know. But this is it. And they had a couple that were different lengths, so I wanted to try a couple different ones, because I don't know what in the world I'm doing here. This one here, and I mixed some paints and just kind of mixed it up, and you can kind of see, I guess you could kind of make that work. It looks kind of odd, at least initially, but I think if you got it on the layout and maybe, added some other effects, and he talks about how you cut paths into it, which look pretty good. So I'm just going to kind of come down low, so, if you imagine that, and this is for, those high wild grass type fields, might be okay, and you can always trim it And it actually does stand up, because initially I thought, you know, I don't want it to look like you just slap fur on the layout, but it does kind of stand up. So if you get down kind of like your HO scale dude, does that look like a wild grass field? Well, I guess I probably could make it work. So the this type here, again, I'm not sure how well it's going to show up. Initially came, that was the first one I showed you. That was this type right here, and here's a smaller piece of it. And this is, oh, it's nice and furry and fluffy. Oh, it's so comfortable. So that was that one. And then this center one is a lot shorter, because I want to try a shorter fur, I guess you. And that's this right here. And again, you get a fair amount of it. I probably could do the whole darn layout with what I have here if I can figure out the technique. And then this one, if you kind of look at that and see what it looks like. I know it looks kind of bizarre sometimes because, you know, the fur is just kind of hanging out. So obviously this has to be worked and blended. And he recommends you come back in and you highlight, you pull tufts out. You know, you add, you know, other tufts in there and other weeds and branches and bushes and stuff, which I can see that. And then this here, let me remove this bolt, I guess. What do you call a hunk of teddy bear fur? I don't know. This is the, and you see the colors are a little bit different too. But this is the longest one. This is definitely a longer fur. That's that one, which I got colored like that. So that was again, these are just kind of the test ones that I did, and I think, I don't know, I guess you got to get on the layout, get it blended in, and see. You can kind of look on that one. I did trim that with some scissors, so you can kind of see the different heights. It's long. I mean, for an HO scale person, I don't know if I have any HO scale people laying around here. No, I don't, but and you can kind of see what it looks like. So I don't know, I'll keep working it. I'm not, again, this is all I've done so far. I guess I haven't done a lot lately, but that is it. And the other thing I've been working on is some trees. Let me just do a quick pause and just real quickly show what I've been doing with some tree armatures.